Yeah. Could be operational. It is. All right, so you are ready. You got it ready? Yes, sir. I was going to to the report meeting. Business will be the minute of your thoughts. Yeah, those are facial expression. You lose motion. Gary, do your second. Second. Not there. All in favor, say aye. And then all opposed, all that same. You're good. That's all. What did you do, John? Well, I mean, we got last year is Darren. So our officers right now are Mark and Darren. If you want to nominate someone else, you can do that this time. If you want to nominate the existing slate, and I'll ask you now, are you gentlemen, if you were to be nominated again, would you accept the position? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you can also make a motion to adopt the existing officers as candidates. So and that's the existing officer. Any discussion? Or any other nomination? Okay, if you then I need a motion to close nominations.
Motion to close nominations.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Year. Whole business. That there's an email. Over asking about, I guess they're maybe one of the neighbors is bringing their house out and so forth. And we're working on it right now because one of the things I've got to get, well, that's something we need to talk about, I guess. We don't have a definition, all right, VRBO, homeowners rental, and I'm talking about homeowner rental of a house, property for, in most cases, I'm guessing less than 30 days. In other words, by the day, by the week, whatever. Do you want to address that as a bed and breakfast? It's not a true rental like a regular home. So how do you want a specific definition for that? I don't have anything to bring to you at this time, but I understand what the issue is, and how do we want to deal with
Becoming more and more popular.
Yes, we've got two of them.
The last we discussed it, where our objective is to control density. And if you're just renting it to one people, I mean, it doesn't change the density for somebody to rent it for today and somebody else to rent it for tomorrow. You still just have a single family in there.
But you're also running a business outside of I mean, you're running a business that historically, without regulation, is getting away without having to pay the taxes that other businesses, bed and breakfast and regular hotels would get. And it's not a true homeowner. I rent it for a year.
that's, I guess you would say a standard lease for rental of property for a single homeowner. Now you're talking about, I don't live there. I'm just renting it to somebody else. I've got the house, I own it, but I don't live there. It's not my primary residence. And I'm not renting it to an individual for a length of time that is what you would normally think. This is a different contract type setup. I mean, and I think what I'd like to do is get some information on how it's defined by the communities.
Yeah.
And let you all look at that and see, because I think we look at not just its use, but it's more business than it is homeowner.
And to me, it's closer to a bed and breakfast than it is a house that you rent.
Yeah.
That somebody comes in, live there for a year.
Yeah.
But, and I would think we'd look at the way we handle a bed and breakfast, and where we allow a bed and breakfast, and that would.
That's actually in the one difference with bed and breakfast is a lot of times they have multiple guests in a bed and breakfast as opposed to a single maybe or two. But again, go look at the bed and breakfast in your zoning ordinance in the schedule of uses. It's listed bed and breakfast and see where that is allowed. You may determine that you want to consider something else for this. Granted, it may be that it's okay to operate this business. It's a home occupation, sort of say, you may be okay to do that, but it's also not a standard single family homeowner or something like that. So we want to take a look at it and see how we want to address that.
We could see in some communities where that has an issue, because I've heard people talk about it. If they borrowed it or,
One of the things we don't want to get into, though, is we don't want to get into trying to enforce somebody's homeowners association or subdivision covenants. If it gets the covenant, then that's their issue to deal with, not ours. So we will look at the overall picture of a planning commission, not a homeowners association. But I will get several definitions that I can come up with and present them at our next meeting. And that way we'll have that. But if you will, take a look at the zoning ordinance and and it's all, of course, if you don't have a copy, quickly, just go online and look. Our zoning ordinance is under the forms on our homepage. And look at Article 11, which is your schedule of uses. And it's in alphabetical order, bed and breakfast. So that'll give you some idea on that one. And you also have multifamily and single family, and that's under dwellings. So if you take a look at that and see what you think, and see if it's close or if it needs, you think it's not as restrictive or maybe more restrictive, whatever you want, however you feel it should be, just take a look at that, and I'll come back with some definitions. Most of it is going to be basically that your tenant is not going to be there for an extended length of period. Most likely it's going to be less than 30, and in most cases, probably less than 7.
Yeah. So and like I said, that's become so popular. And Calvert is close enough to the lake that we're still in that zone where people will be glad to rent for a week.
Granted.
We could.
I mean, it may be that you're okay with that, but let's get some definitions and see how you want to proceed with it. Because tourism is something we're looking at. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just something we want to take a look at. I'm talking about a place where a person basically owns a house. Truly, they don't really live there in most cases. And so all they're doing is they're renting it out.
But out bedrooms at their house, the same ladies for years. They're
Well,
not
I mean,
gonna see it.
that's something you guys are gonna have to decide on that. I'll get you the definitions,
But it's kind
and
of,
then
you're-
you figure out how you want to make sure we've got those at the next meeting. In fact, as soon as I get them, I'll try to put them together and send them out to you before the meeting, okay? Short-term rental, I think is what they call it.
is it training you again?
It is. That was the next thing in new business I was gonna bring up. We have 2 classes available. One's in April in E-Town. I found out about Fulton the day before. And so there was no time to notify anybody. Crystal and I did go and get that out of the way. But there's 2 classes coming up that are reasonable. One of them is E-Town, which is the least reasonable, but that's coming up in April. The exact date I'll get back with you on. And the other one is in October, and that's in Princeton. And I figured that would be the one most of you could make. It's probably the closest of any of them. Fulton was the other one, so Princeton's actually closer than Fulton, so that's gonna be in October, the middle of the month. I think it's the 18th. Yeah, I think it's the 18th of October. It'll be there. And so take a look at your calendar, see if April, October works better for you. Let us know and we'll get you scheduled. I can send out something.
You'll send out the.
I will. Or maybe I'll get them for you right now. I want to say it's October the 18th, if I'm not mistaken on. Yeah. That's normal.
Like we just.
Yeah.
Didn't we just?
Unless those there was about 14 or 15 years ago, possibly 16 years.
So it's changed a whole lot, Joel.
And I think it had it here.
Yeah, I can't get them to come back here for whatever reason. But I'm gonna keep pushing. Look at a couple places there. Our department over there, it's got a, the emergency management's got a good place.
I'm going to the IC 400 over there next 2 months. Not.
Doing real well. Oh, sorry.
Send it out to us from you. It's enough time we can look at and get our calendar.
Apparently they're not gonna let you have the training counter on this one. I know it's. Let me, stand corrected. All right. Take that down.
from
I'm gonna slow down just a little bit. That way we're not.
Virginia this morning. I'm loving just being here.
All right, April 6th, which is a Thursday. That's the one in E-Town. That was correct, October 18th. In Princeton. Yep, that is Wednesday. So it's Thursday in April and it's Wednesday in October. You all want me to go ahead and set you up for Princeton? You want any more?
Check, I might have to go to a Foley.
What about April? Is that the one?
It's just going until I take me.
Just let Crystal know or send me an email or whatever. I'll send an email, whatever. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'll be going to a deal in Frankfurt this week, so I'll be gone a couple of days. I will be back here Friday, so I'll try to get your schedule set up. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can schedule it and change it if I need to. Ben, you okay with Princeton? Yes, sir.
Anything else?
They haven't actually given us a start date. I know they got out of the. What's going to affect is people who had been using that parking that close may wind up lose some frontage for that purpose. But, you know, honestly, they never had it. They just were able to utilize it. Especially on that south side of the road. You know, several businesses on the south side of the road right up to the boundary line. Matter of fact, the old one of them in particular, the canopy actually is right. The canopy is like a foot or something. Beyond that canopy is the actual property line. So, and I can see several of them, you know, most likely none of those existing structures would be, we wouldn't allow construction the way that is today without a variance because most of them are in what we would call the setback today. But they're also very old structures too, so that they're all grandfathered at this time. Yeah. But no, it shouldn't affect, it's not going to expand far enough out that it's going to get into the structures themselves. I don't see anything like that. I mean, you can go online and they've got that showing. They've got it on their Facebook and they've also got it there. I don't have the 3-lane because they originally were talking about a 4-lane, but have come back and said that Super 2 with the 3-lane would handle the volume of traffic that we have. And some in the future, some expansion on that. But they're supposed to be all the way 95, at least a 3-lane or larger from 95 all the way back to exit 27. Well, actually it'll go further back on the boulevard as well. The intersection there is going to be
Has the state like did they get a bargain basement on Turner roundabout?
No, but
That's
the
all they
safety,
wanted to put in.
okay, here's my sales pitch on roundabouts. The safety, all your traffic on a roundabout is going in the same direction. It doesn't matter where you get on, where you're going in the same direction. You don't have T-bones, you don't have head-ons, you have roundabout. If you do have an accident, it's a glancing blow. And this is just a personal observation, and also one that I've seen and watched over the years as an officer. That it's safer if you put in an intersection with a four-way stop or a stoplight. What happens when you see a stoplight or turning yellow? You speed up. What's the next thing? I'm supposed to go from speed up to stop. If it's red, you don't stop when it turns red, you just keep going. Or four-way stop. And I say right down here at Fifth and Oak Park Boulevard. How many times do you watch a car going south from the plants, or maybe north from the plants, or vice versa, going east-west? It doesn't stop. They just blow right through it. I don't see anybody. Don't stop. Well, now we have people walking. Anytime you have traffic that crosses, that's an accident waiting to happen. By going in the same direction, it allows that traffic to be safer. This is a single lane they're proposing, not a double lane, thank goodness. Especially for a community that's not used to it, if they do put one in. And because, yes, across the state, there's a bunch of them slated, and they're finding Lone Valley, Kennedy, and Campbell will all be affected. All four of those will be affected. Regardless of what happens, they're going to be affected. And most of the businesses, well, not most of them, but several businesses seem to like the roundabout option better than the other, because a lot of the interchange options that are just the 9-degree, if you look at them, you go in one way, but you may have to come out another way. So
They
that,
haven't-
no, they have not, and I have not heard anything. But I'm just saying that, safety wise, trucks and roundabouts, that's not a problem. Not in this one. Hey, listen, they use them all over the place. I watch. The roundabouts are used throughout the state of Indiana, all over the place. The interchanges, they're used. I know Bowling Green personally because I go through them. And they handle traffic too. Yeah. You're over 35 miles an hour, you're on a racetrack. I don't think you'll be going 20. I think you'll be doing like somewhere between 15 and 20. If not 10, yeah. You're going to slow down because you're not going to be able to negotiate, and you're not going to put a big truck in that. If you are, you don't need a trucking license. If you try to race a big truck around that thing, yeah, you don't need a license. Of course, it's probably
That's a challenge.
not everybody is, not every. But I can tell you right now, I'm going to go through the roundabout or the intersection, four-way intersection, anything, because you want to stop and you wait, sit there, and you sit with a roundabout, you slow down and you keep going. Occasionally you stop when there's heavy traffic, but you move so much faster through it.
Unless you got somebody that can't decide if they're stopping or going, that's what I'm trying to do. You're gonna go and somebody's going, they're like, I'm
Well, I think that one of the biggest thing I like is that the fact that it is safe for all your motorists. Completely. I mean, if you do have an accident, it's going to be a glancing blow, and it's generally not going to be one of those situations where you have a lot of issues with physical personal. Yeah, you've slowed down. You're going at a glancing blow. There's, it's not like I said. It's not like being T-boned.
So where are we on the Gary thing? The trail?
Property acquisition right now. So, and waiting for the attorney to return so he can finish deed work on 3 properties, and then we've got a couple more that still haven't seen.
Yeah,
But we have the federal money 4 years ago. It's federal. Actually, it was 6 years ago. 2017 is when I applied for the grant, where they gave us the money, or they gave us the grant in 19. They didn't give us the money to begin until 2024. You know, it's still going, yeah. Yeah, I'm like herding snails, but it is moving forward. The state has actually been good to help us. They're actually doing a lot of the contact with the people about the land acquisition, because they've got people that are certified to do that in their right of way department. So they've really helped us with that and really haven't charged us anything for their work. So it's been really a blessing for us.
Yes. We adjourn.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.